Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Well, the Metro over in the UK has a great article, says NIBIRU skeptic threatened after hidden Planet X failed to destroy the Earth. That's right. Now, all those people out there that are apparently very upset that the end of the world didn't happen, you need to just take a chill for a minute and let's just not worry about a Planet X or NIBIRU, shall we? And while it's great to explore it, we can look at the Sumerian tablets. We can look and see that, yeah, you know, they documented this brown dwarf. Again, it's not to say it doesn't exist, but I don't think it's going to be a threat anytime soon. And I would certainly think that there'd be a little more than a couple of armchair astronomers that would put their work out in a fashion other than YouTube. Not to say that YouTube's not, a bad platform, but when the only place you see this thing is YouTube and not through a telescope or, perhaps peer-reviewed work. And let me tell you, folks, having a brown dwarf incoming, I would have to imagine would be pretty hard to hide a planet killer, especially considering the fact that a lot of armchair astronomers find asteroids, small asteroids, on collision courses with the Earth, or close. And these near-Earth objects, like I said, people find them just looking in their backyard, stargazing, with their Bushnell telescope. I mean, these are things that, this is why you got to be very careful about these rabbit holes you go down, especially ones that talk about a big, giant planet that is supposed to wreak havoc on our galaxy, on our solar system. I mean, this is, it's crazy. It says conspiracy theorists had predicted that NIBIRU, or Planet X, was set to smash into the Earth after a Bible verse apparently predicted the end of the world. But the theory was quickly debunked, and Nick Pope, a former alien expert for the government, actually came out and, debunked it. Now, since that time, Mr. Pope has received anonymous threats calling him a lying government shill by a NIBIRU truther who still believes the planet exists. Again, I'm not going to say the planet doesn't exist. I don't know that. I haven't seen it, but I can tell you that if a brown dwarf was in as close proximity as they say it is, a lot more bad things would be happening to planet Earth and our neighbors than is actually happening. So that should be a telltale sign, It's not everything's all hunky-dory and then all of a sudden, boom, a planet crashes into us. That's not exactly how it works. Now, he received an email reading this. This is how crazy this is. You said anyone who thinks NIBIRU is close lacks critical thinking, and that makes you a goddamn treasonous piece of lying government. And it continues. It says, we know the chemtrails are hiding Planet X, you evil bastard. You should be hanged for treason and accessory to genocide, you evil piece of government. Yes. Now, no one should be subjected to that. I mean, okay, I was wrong, so let me resort to ad hominem attack and threaten your safety because I was wrong. Look, your butt hurt. It's okay. People make mistakes, but you have to use your head. And big planet. We'll just take it down a notch for a second, shall we? Let's just take a look at our moon and what our moon does to our planet as we have a full moon, as it's at perigee, all these different points in its orbit, all these different events have dramatic effect on tides and weather patterns. This is the moon. okay? Not a brown dwarf, a moon. And if our little moon can do that to planet Earth, what do you think a brown dwarf planet's going to be? And what do you think the forces are going to be like that's exerted on this planet? Why, they would probably be a lot more than the moon. I'm just speculating, but that's just me putting my speculation cap on. Now, Nick Pope said, when I do get abuse, it's generally at the mild end of the spectrum, accusing me of still secretly working for the Ministry of Defense and being part of a conspiracy to cover up the truth about UFOs. I get it, too. You know, I was a civil servant for years, and I get that stuff, too. You want to know what, though? It's all good. The fact is, you know, I got out of that, and for a good reason, because it is corrupt. Not to say there aren't good people trying to do good things in civil service. Of course there are. But absolutely broken system. Absolutely a broken system. Now, do the government hide alien technology? I most certainly think they do. I most certainly think they do. And again, I'm not saying Planet X doesn't exist, but I am saying that if you're using the Bible as your reference, Bible makes it pretty clear that no one knows the day or the hour but the Father in heaven. And if you're using the Bible as your guide for the return of Planet X, you're going to be wrong 100% of the time. It's really that simple. Folks, be careful what you wish for. The Bible says don't hasten the day, because apparently the end of days are going to be so bad that there was never a time on this planet that's going to be as bad as that. Personally, I think we're living through it now. And if you look at the death and destruction that's happening all over the planet, if you look at the corruption, if you look at the genetic manipulation, if you look at the vaccines, you look at the GMO foods, you look at all this stuff, there is nothing that hasn't been manipulated anymore. Our environment has been manipulated against our own free will, against our wishes. We have no say. Really, the choices are being taken away from us, you know? And there's going to come a point in time where the powers that shouldn't be are going to overplay their hand. And when they do, it's going to be very bad. And when that day comes, it's best that you prepare yourself. Most importantly, spiritually. I mean, you can go ahead and try and deny that, you know, spirituality doesn't exist and that we came from a puddle of soup, of cosmic soup, if you will. You know, I could give you plenty of statistics to prove to you otherwise, but it doesn't really matter. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here to tell you is, don't get distracted by things like NIBIRU and national anthems and things like that, because it keeps your eye off of what you're supposed to be focused on, and it changes your behavior. You know, when you start going down that road, you end up becoming much more bitter. And that's not to say you shouldn't go down that road and you should investigate it, but gosh darn it, love your neighbor. Respect them. And if we could all just do that, by God, this world would be a totally different place, and no one would be talking about the end of the world, because we'd be loving life. And it's just that simple. I'm Joe Joseph. This was the DailySheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.